Not every revelation is meant for the world. Some are treasures meant only for you and God. There are truths too powerful to be spoken aloud, dreams too sacred to be exposed before their time. In a world driven by constant sharing, where every thought and moment is broadcast for validation, there is immense strength in restraint. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is the fortress that guards your destiny, your blessings, and your breakthrough. For those chosen by God, there is a higher calling, a responsibility to safeguard the divine plans He has entrusted to you. Not every revelation is meant for public eyes. Some must be nurtured in secret, shielded from the world's judgment and interference. When you reveal too much too soon, you risk leaving your dreams vulnerable to doubt, envy, and opposition. Even the strongest destiny needs time to take root and grow before it can stand unshaken. You are called to walk a different path. While others rush to declare their every step, you are asked to wait in faith, not because your dreams aren't real, but because they are far too significant to be exposed prematurely. The greatest victories are forged in the quiet places, where God refines you, strengthens you, and prepares you for what lies ahead. These secrets are not burdens. They are shields that protect what God has set in motion for your life. Your future plans and dreams are not random ideas. They are seeds of greatness, planted by God Himself. But just like a seed must remain hidden in the soil before it breaks through into the light, your dreams must grow in silence. Exposing them too early will only invite unnecessary battles and unwanted interference. Trust in God's timing, for He knows the perfect moment to reveal His work in your life. The first secret that you must guard with your life is your future plans and dreams. Chosen ones, listen closely. The enemy doesn't have direct access to your future. He doesn't have a crystal ball that shows him where God is leading you. No, the enemy works through assumptions. He gathers his intel based on what you carelessly reveal in casual conversation. The more information he can gather, the more ammunition he has to sabotage what God has in store for you. Proverbs 29:11 says it clearly. A fool expresses all his feelings, but the wise suppress them. Let that sink in. The wise know when to remain silent. They understand the value of protecting what God has shown them until the appointed time. Don't rush to announce revelations that are still in their infancy. Don't share your dreams prematurely, especially when they're still fragile and vulnerable to attack. Take Mary, the mother of Jesus, as an example. She was entrusted with a miraculous promise, a destiny that would change the world forever. But she didn't run around telling everyone no. She incubated that promise in silence, protecting it until the right time. Mary understood something that every chosen one must understand. Dreams are like babies. They need to be nurtured, protected, and kept away from the harsh elements until they're strong enough to survive on their own. When you're in the early stages of birthing your dream, the last thing you need is outside interference, misunderstandings, or premature skepticism. Sharing your dreams with the wrong people can bring unnecessary adversity. Keep your vision private and surrender it to God in prayer. Some things are meant to be kept between you and the Lord. Yes, He may direct you to share certain aspects with a few trusted individuals, people who will pray for you and stand in agreement with you. But resist the urge to broadcast your plans to the world before they're fully established. By keeping quiet about what God is doing in your life, you give your dreams room to grow and flourish in a safe environment. You block the enemy's attempts to interfere with God's work. Remember, not all visions are meant to be shared immediately. Some need time to mature in the secret place. This strategic silence protects your purpose and increases the likelihood of its successful realization. Number 2. Family matters. Keep the sanctuary secure. The second area where silence is golden for the chosen ones is in family matters. Your family is your inner circle, and not every disagreement, financial struggle, or health issue should be made public. Don't expose the vulnerabilities of your household to people who have no business knowing your business. In a world where oversharing is the norm, resist the urge to air your family's issues on social media or in casual conversations. Whether it's a marital dispute, conflicts with your children, or financial challenges, keep those matters private. The enemy thrives on division, and when you expose your family's weaknesses, you're giving him a foothold. Proverbs 17:9 says, "Whoever promotes love covers an offense," and 1 Peter 4:8 reminds us, "Love covers a multitude of sins." Your role in the family is to protect, not expose. Be like Noah's sons, who covered their father's nakedness rather than expose it for ridicule. Handle your family issues with wisdom and discretion, seeking counsel only from trusted, spiritually mature individuals who will pray for you and guard your secrets. Imagine if Mary had run to Elizabeth to complain about Joseph when he initially wanted to leave her upon discovering her pregnancy. That would have caused confusion and gossip. Instead, she trusted God and allowed him to work things out. Don't fall into the trap of turning minor family issues into major public spectacles. Handle them in private, and you'll see God's hand of restoration move in ways you never imagined. Family matters are sacred. They should be dealt with in love, grace, and discretion. When you protect your family from public scrutiny, you create an environment where healing and reconciliation can truly take place. Number 3. Your first victory and breakthrough. Wait on God's timing. One of the hardest things to do is remain silent after a breakthrough. Your first victory is precious, but it's also fragile. When God blesses you with a breakthrough, whether it's a new job, a financial increase, or a significant opportunity, it's natural to want to shout it from the rooftops. But hear me clearly, this is a time for silence, not celebration. There's wisdom in waiting on God's timing before you announce your success to the world. You see, early victories are like young plants. They need time to root and grow before they're strong enough to withstand external pressures. Proverbs 21:05 tells us, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty." Rushing to publicize your breakthrough can actually undermine it, leaving it vulnerable to spiritual attacks, envy, and unnecessary competition. The enemy is always looking for ways to sabotage what God is doing in your life. And if you're too quick to reveal your success, you might inadvertently give him the opportunity he's been waiting for. Look at King Saul, for example. After being anointed as king, the prophet Samuel instructed him to wait for God's signs before taking any action. 1 Samuel 10:8. However, Saul grew impatient and acted on his own, offering sacrifices without waiting for Samuel. This disobedience led to severe consequences. God rejected Saul as king, and his reign ended in failure and tragedy. This serves as a powerful lesson on the importance of trusting and waiting for God's perfect timing. However, Saul grew impatient and acted on his own, offering sacrifices without waiting for Samuel. This disobedience led to severe consequences. God rejected Saul as king, and his reign ended in failure and tragedy. This serves as a powerful lesson on the importance of trusting and waiting for God's perfect timing. Saul's anointing was real, but it needed time to be established in God's perfect timing. And when David defeated Goliath, he didn't go boasting about his victory prematurely. David remained silent, allowing his triumph to speak for itself when the time was right. Now imagine if David had rushed to announce his victory before his reign was fully secured. His enemies would have had all the information they needed to attack him, and his destiny could have been jeopardized. Chosen ones, your first breakthrough is not the time to boast. It's a time to let your victory mature in private. There will be a time for public celebration, but early success needs protection. It's in these early stages that the enemy will try to steal, kill, and destroy the very blessing God has given you. He'll use jealousy, distraction, and opposition to try to uproot what hasn't fully taken hold yet. But by keeping your victory between you and God, you give it time to grow strong and unshakable. Consider the story of Joseph. He was given a dream of his future greatness, But when he prematurely shared that dream with his brothers, it led to envy and betrayal. Genesis 37. Following this, Joseph endured great trials, from being thrown into a pit and sold into slavery, to facing false accusations and imprisonment. Yet, through every challenge, Joseph remained faithful and patient, trusting in God's timing. Eventually, these hardships prepared him for the role God had destined for him, to become a ruler in Egypt and save many lives during a great famine. His story is a powerful reminder that even when the path is difficult, God's timing is always perfect. Following this, Joseph endured great trials, from being thrown into a pit and sold into slavery, to facing false accusations and imprisonment. Yet, through every challenge, Joseph remained faithful and patient, trusting in God's timing. Eventually, these hardships prepared him for the role God had destined for him, to become a ruler in Egypt and save many lives during a great famine. His story is a powerful reminder that even when the path is difficult, God's timing is always perfect. Joseph's breakthrough was real, but the timing was wrong. He had to endure trials and tribulations before that dream could fully manifest. His story reminds us that early victories often come with challenges, and waiting on God's timing is essential for the fulfillment of His promises. There's a time to speak and a time to remain silent. Right after a breakthrough, when you're riding the high of success, it's easy to want to tell everyone, but chosen ones must exercise restraint. Protect what God has given you. Nurture your success in silence. Let God establish it, and when the time is right, He will reveal it to the world in a way that no one can deny. Remember, God's timing is perfect, and patience is key to sustaining the victories He gives you. Don't let impatience or the desire for recognition rob you of the fullness of what God has for you. Wait on Him, and when He gives you the green light, your victory will be so solid that no one, not even the enemy, will be able to shake it. Let your victories mature in the secret place, chosen ones, and watch how God multiplies your blessings in ways you never imagined. Similarly, consider the experience of John the Apostle in Revelation 10. When the 7 thunders spoke, John was about to write down what he had heard, but God stopped him, saying, "Do not write it down." This reminds us that some revelations are meant to remain sealed and are not for everyone. These sacred moments are a testament to our relationship with God, but they must be nurtured in silence until the appointed time.